Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Scraps, the crafting game by Cesar Capacle. I think I'm saying that right. I have to say that every time because I'm so afraid of saying it wrong. We are at part 4 of a planned two-part series explaining and having a playthrough and learning this game together. Yes, this was planned to be a 2-part video, but it ended up being 4 parts. More fun, more time, more fun for all of us. We have Dilbert, the scrapper, the person who goes out journeying around the world, finding ingredients and materials for our projects, of which you will have 2, your personal project and your community project. Now, we have found in part 3, we did manage to find some hollow ferrum, which is one of the special ingredients we need for our community project. And that was in Hex 8 here. In part 2, we also found this yellow material in Hex 2, which was radiant yellow sap, which was a random find. Now, the community project, you have to roll up the ingredients you need and then roll up to find out where they are. So one is here, the hollow ferrum, and here would be the moon dust. But like we saw in part 2, you can also find random special ingredients which can be used in your personal projects. Now, we are currently in Hex 8. We want to go back home, because I want to show you the 4th and final phase. But to give me good luck on the journey back home, please like and subscribe, because that will make the dice gods in my favor. That will give me a little bit of sacrifice, a little bit of bargaining power for the dice gods. So please like and subscribe. Right. Let us continue. So we're going to go back home in this episode. We're going to go from Hex 8, we're going to travel back to Hex 1, our home settlement. I hope you guys are enjoying this game because it is a lot of fun. It really is a different game to what I've played before. Right, so part 3, we found the one of the special ingredients. We put it in our backpack. Now we make the decision to journey back or to journey forward, because we could continue on to this hex, which has that other ingredient that we need for the community project. But in the name of time, because I'm sure you guys don't want to watch even more videos on this. Well, I don't know, maybe you do. Maybe you're enjoying this game and having a play and you want to learn even more. But what I'm going to do is, instead of carrying on the journey, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back home and we're going to start crafting so you can see how that works. All right. So for that, we need to go to the back home phase. Home, sweet home. Right, this is phase D, it's the final phase, the 4th phase. Again, let's go back and just quickly show you the gameplay flowchart. It is a loop, planning, journey, collecting, back home, repeat, rinse and repeat. Right, it's finally time to return to your settlement. With, spelling mistake, stories to share and ingredients to put to use. The comfort of your workshop awaits you. The journey back through explored territories is faster and safer, but it does require that you have enough supplies to make it home. Okay, so I do have 4 provisions, so I've got plenty enough. I'm going to need 1, 2. I'm going to need 2 provisions to get home. Okay, right. Once there, you'll dedicate your time to work on your projects, but not before you learn if the journey took a toll on your ingredients. Yes, the whole decay thing that we've been experiencing. We could lose parts of our materials. Right, going home. Pack your bags, set course home. Perils of this part of the world don't alarm you anymore, so you're able to pick up the pace. Right, so we've got to get underway. This is underlined, so it is what Cesar calls a move, but it is a test. It is a ability check to travel quickly through previous explored lands. Okay, count how many hexes you need to travel to get to your destination, which is home. So I've got to travel 2 hexes. Right, spend 1 provision square per hex. Righty-ho. Now again, I'm using card with little pieces of blue tack because I think it's better for the video. I mean, if you're playing it, you could probably do what Cesar recommends and just use a color pencil. But I always find colored pencils a bit difficult to erase. Right, we've taken off 2 provisions. We've got 2 left. I'm not going to need them this time. Now what? Grab 1d6 per hex and roll them. Each one rolled cancels out a 6. After cancelling out, pick the highest result. Ooh, okay. Now, I still have 2 bonuses from the opportunity rolls. Or sorry, from the opportunity points. I used up my opportunity to get these bonuses. When you earn opportunity points, you can use them during your journey to actually get either bonus dice or to get random special ingredients. So I've still got 2d6. Now, do I want to keep any of those? I think I might keep, because I might want to keep it for the how would that help me on suffer decay rolls? Maybe on this check. See, I might want to keep these extra d6 in case I have decay or when I'm doing the crafting. So 2d6, each one cancels a 6. So if I roll 2 dice and I roll a 1 and a 6, I just get the 1. Okay. I'm not going to use, like I said, I think I'm going to need these. I mean, there is a chance that I can get opportunities on the journey, but I think I'm going to keep these for when I do the crafting and the decay. All right, so I'm just going to roll. I'm rolling 2 dice because I'm moving 2 hexes. I'm going from here, so 1, 2, so 2 dice. I'm going to find out what happens on my journey. Let's see how we do. I've got a 3 and a 2, so the highest is a 3. Right, you made it through with a cost. I have to risk supply. So risk supply is like the decay. There is a chance of us actually losing some stuff that we have. So that is in the journey. Risk supply is in the journey. Here we go. You've got to make a suffer decay move, which is page 56, but skip the roll on table 15. Okay, because yeah, when you're journeying, you've only got your backpack. You don't have to roll to see which grid. It's automatically your backpack, but we do have to do this, right? Suffer decay to see if you're carrying, so for each decay on your track. So we currently have 1 decay. So I'm rolling on the backpack random location. We are here, so we've got a risk supply. We rolled a 3, so we have to risk supply. Now what we want is to roll a location which has nothing. So all these empty boxes or empty squares would be nothing happens. Now let's see what happens. So we've got a roll. Oh, that's not good. It's really not good. So we get a 6 and a 5. I need to edit out that language, what with the new policies on YouTube. Right, so that is this square here. Now, what's going to happen to that square? Let's have a look and see. Dum dum, suffer decay. Right, so if it's filled, we have to roll a d6. We get a 1. Taint, oh no, that's not good at all. Taint that square, sugar. That square is permanently spoiled, paint it black. If it is a provision square, you must keep it as a permanent stain. If it's a basic material or special ingredient, you can still use the scrap, but you can't craft out that square in particular when you work on a project. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, so what's happened is this square here is basically I can't craft out that square. So when you do crafting, what we're going to look at in a minute is you can actually try to rearrange, or you can try to remove or move these blocks to make it fit into your project. Now, with that result, I can't move or modify that square there, which is a problem. So that square is tainted, and the square underneath in my backpack is permanently spoiled. So in future, I can't put anything on that square in my backpack. So I've lost one space in my backpack permanently. That's really not good. Oh, here we go. Come on, who hasn't liked and subscribed the video yet? It's your fault. That's why it's happening. Right, so that failed. So we rolled a 1. So we've got tainted, and that was part of my what do we call it? The hollow ferrum. Not good. That's not good at all. Okay. So the journey back home has not been good to me so far. Right. Damn it. Can't craft out that square in particular when you work on a project. Ah, damn it. Okay. All right. So that was a problem. That really was a problem. Okay. Now, if you don't have enough provisions for the journey home, you take a decay for each square that you are missing a provision. Now, because we did the risk in supply, we have to clear our decay because it's already had an effect. Right, what's next? So we're going home. We've screwed up a little bit. Right, delving. Okay, so we're finally home. We are back at the settlement. Everybody's happy to see me, excited to see what I've brought back with me. Not so much party in the streets, but the clap on the shoulder as we go past, shaking of hands. Everyone's glad to see me back. But you know, there's no feast in my honor. Not yet, anyway. Right, so we are going to go back to the workshop, yes. So we're going back to the workshop. Now, we also have to do that suffer decay here, but because we had that check just now on the journey home, my decay track is now clear, so I don't have to do another decay check, which, well, it's not great, but at least we don't have to do it again. Okay, so that's done, that's done. Okay, now if I still had decay here, or if I gained more decay, and I did this roll back in the workshop, like now, I would actually roll first on this table, table 15, to see which grid I'm rolling on. When you're journeying, you've only got your backpack with you, so this is the only one that's being affected. But when you come back home and you're at the workshop, it could potentially be your backpack, which has got all the materials you brought with you. It could be your workshop, which has got your store. Or it could be one of your projects that you're currently working on, which has some materials on. That's what could happen. Right, so we're not doing that this time because we don't have any decay left. So luckily for that, we are okay. What else? Dum 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 dum. Right. Everything in place. Nice aromatic bath. Okay, so now unpack. Okay, now once you've done the suffer decay, you can move your materials and ingredients from your backpack into your workshop. Right. So now I need to move everything but the provisions into the workshop. So I need to transfer all of these materials. I need to move them into my workshop. So again, we're going to move stuff in. So we've moved all the materials from our journey, everything we've found, all the specials and everything else we've put into our workshop. But look, now my backpack has one space less. I can't put any material on that space anymore. That's not good at all. Right, so now we want to actually use these materials and work on a project. So you may work on a project to put the things you brought home to good use. Choose one personal or community project and then try and put on the scrap. Okay, so what do I want to do? Well, the hollow ferrum can be used on this. Now, I only need to use a minimum of 1 square for each of the ingredients. So I could put this here and try to remove that square there. Let's have a look. So if it's a perfect fit, you're done. If it's not a perfect fit, or if you choose to move or remove one square or a group of adjacent squares, you've got to roll craft. Okay. I think that's what I'll do. So repeat this process for each square or group of adjacent squares you want to remove, for each scrap you want to craft, and for each project. So I could do everything. All right, so let's have a think. This one is tainted, which means that piece, that square there, I can't actually move, remove, or anything else. That has to stay part of the block. So what I'm thinking is this piece here, I'm thinking of putting there, removing this square, which is going to require a craft roll, and then moving that and putting it up into one of these squares here. Sounds good, yes? And then we'll continue with some of the others. Excellent, right. So choose a scrap of basic material or special ingredient. Right, so I've chosen a piece of special ingredient. Draw it inside the project blueprint. Well, I'm not drawing, I'm using these card pieces. Right, if it's a perfect fit, you're done, okay. So I want to try and cut off this square so I can move it up here, and then this will fit in this part there, righty-ho. So we've got to make a craft roll, right? What's my craft? My craft is 2. Now, do I want to add I've got 2 extra dice bonus. Now, do I want to add any dice? On a 4 to 6, I can basically use the square elsewhere. On a 2 or 3, I lose that square, but I can keep the rest of it. On a 1, I lose the whole bloody scrap. Okay, we're just going to roll the 2 dice. So we get a 5. That's the highest. So a work of precision. You waste no squares and can use them elsewhere. So even though this piece of hollow ferrum, this special ingredient, was kind of tainted and damaged maybe during the journey, I can still make full use of it. So what I can do is do this. I can cut that piece off there. So this now fits in that bit. So that part of the project's done. This leg or support is done. And then this, gonna need more blue tack. This one, I can now fit. Or do I have to roll again for this one? Because now it's separate. If it's a perfect fit, you're done. Okay, so I can just put this there and that's done. Excellent. So now I can choose another scrap and do the same thing again until I decide to stop. Now, projects are going to include wood, rock, and special ingredients. But like I say, this portable music box needs to have hollow ferrum and moon dust. Now, at the moment, I do not have moon dust. My personal project, I've got to have, I think, again, I'm assuming because it doesn't actually specifically state it, but I think it needs to have at least 1 square of a special ingredient, and you've got to be able to justify its use. Now, I did find, again, using a point of opportunity, I did find this random special ingredient, radiant yellow sap. So what I'm thinking is that on my personal transporter, I am going to put a piece of this near the front to act as an illumination or some kind of reflector. So like a light or something, or a lamp or something at the front in terms of using this sap. So I'm going to take this. Now, where do I want to put this? Now, I have this piece of wood here that will be a perfect fit up there. So I could rotate this like that and use that like that. Now, I could do that and finish, or I could try and cut it, because I don't need to use all of it. I could try and maybe cut it in half and put 2 pieces here and then save 2 pieces for another project. But then I'd have to make another craft roll and I have the potential of losing everything. I think I'm going to do that anyway. So I'm going to try to cut this in half so that I can keep 2 squares and keep in my workshop for another project. So I'm going to roll. My craft is 2. What do we get? We get a 3 and a 4. The 4 is the highest. So again, a work of precision. You waste no squares and can use them elsewhere. Brilliant. So I can do this. I get the blue tack off the middle, stick it onto one side, cut where I want to cut it, and I can use it again where I want. Right, so on my personal project, I can put this here. And this piece that I cut off, I can use on another project later. So now this goes back into my workshop. I will put it here. And that can be used on another project later. But of course, it does stand the risk of being decayed and whatever when I roll decay next time. But we're not worrying about that. Right, next. I wanted to use this piece of wood up here, didn't I? Or I could use it here. No. So this piece of wood, I'm going to use, because again, I was looking at this right from the start. So I'm going to use this. And because it's a perfect fit, I'm going to use it here. See, again, the whole Tetris, the Tetris influence to the mechanics. I love it, I love it, I love it. Right, what else can we do? I could also use this piece of rock to go there. That could work. Or could I use this one? No. Oh, I could use this one here. Couldn't I? 3, 4. I think I could use this one here. So we're going to take that, because it's a bit of a weird shape, this one. But I think I can use this. Oh, look at that. Nice. So this piece of rock, and again, because it's a perfect fit, I don't have to cut it or modify it, so I don't have to make any rolls. Excellent. So we've got a piece of rock, a piece of wood, and we've got that radiant yellow sap. Okay, so we're well on the way from our personal project. The music box, not so much. Now, I've still got lots of materials left. Now, the thing is, if I use up all the wood and the stone, I'm also going to have to start collecting that when I go out next time. What else can we do? Can I use this anywhere? Yes, I could use this up here. I think I'll do that. Because the thing is, once I finish a personal project, I can actually use it in my journeying and everything. And as long as it's relevant to a test that I'm doing, it will give me a bonus die. So this is a perfect fit there. This is going to be like a bloody Flintstones, a Flintstones vehicle with stone wheels and everything. Okay, so this project only needs 3 singles to be completed. Now, I do have 3 singles. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. So I can actually complete this project. But I haven't really made much progress on this thing, have I? Right, so I think I'm going to finish my personal project. So we're going to take some singles from there. So I'm going to put a piece of wood there, piece of stone there, and we're going to use, we'll take this one, I think, a piece more of the hollow ferrum, piece of iron or metallic ore, just to provide a little bit of strength to my vehicle. Maybe this is the braking system that needs that little bit of a stronger, harder material. To there. So now that project is actually complete. Brilliant. Now what else can I do? What else can I do? Let's have a think. I don't really want to use more of that if possible. I've got this piece of wood that I could use. So we'll take this piece of wood here, which is a 3 points. So I could put this here like that to be like a wooden base of the music box. I think I'm going to leave it there because I've got 1 piece of wood left, I've got 1 piece of stone left, I've got a couple more pieces of hollow ferrum if I need it, and I've got 1 piece of that radiant yellow sap. Again, that could be used in a personal project. But I have completed my personal transporter. Ta-da! I mean, this is on the start. I've put 3 pieces on this already. But because of the perfect fits, I don't have to make any more rolls on it. Brilliant. So we have completed one of our projects. Excellent. So special ingredients, blah, blah, blah. Must have at least 1 square of each ingredient required. Okay. Special ingredient squares are worth double the points. Yeah, I'm not going to get a lot of points for this. You can freely decide to mix in your personal and community as long as you're buying and envisioning it. Okay. Righty-ho. Right, so we have actually finished a project. Excellent. And it is my personal project, so I can use this when I'm traveling now. If it's relevant, I can get a bonus. Excellent. Right, when all the squares of your project blueprint are filled with basic materials and special, even if they are tainted. Now, the tainted's down here. And there are no exceeding squares outside, so I've cut off and chopped everything I need to do. Okay. Right, so envision what it looks like. So this is going to be like a bicycle, some form of bicycle made from very bare materials. So like I mentioned before, some kind of small wheel at the back, larger wheel at the front, some kind of steering mechanism here. We've used the radiant yellow sap to provide some kind of illumination. And then we've got some kind of seating position here. Okay, great. So now we have to find out how many points we get from this. Now, this brings us back to the character sheet and these 2 boxes here that we pointed out right in the start, I think video 1, part 1. And I said that we use these in the last phase. Well, we're going to use these now. PP stands for project points. And these are beneficial points in terms of the rewards we get. TP is taint points. And these will detract and basically give issues with your project. So what we need to do is look at our project and total up the number of project points and taint points. Right, tally up all special ingredient squares. They are worth 4 project points each. So we've only got 2. I know we've got 1 here as well, haven't we? So it's 3 special ingredients. So 3 times 4 is, what am I doing right on there? This is the character sheet, right? So we've got 12 points from the special. Tally up all basic material squares. They're worth 2 points each. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 2 each. That's 36. Okay. Tally up all tainted squares. They are worth 6 taint points each. No tainted squares. Excellent. Halved squares are worth half the points. Yeah. From decay, another result you can get is halved. So they're worth half the points. Add up all project points and mark them under PP on your sheet. Add up all taint points and mark them under TP. Right, so we've got no taint points, which is good. And we have we've got 48 project points. Okay, check the completed box next to the project. Done. So that's done. So I'm going to have to use another piece of paper next time for my next personal project. Excellent. Right. Finished projects may grant you extra D6 when you perform a task while they're available and relevant. So I have to bring them with me, but they don't take any space in the backpack, luckily. You must have 1 personal project and 1 community project active at all times. So since I have now finished the personal project, I've now got to roll up another one, create another personal project for the next time we go out. Excellent. Right. So now we have to look at advance. Right. You may spend project points to advance. In order to do so, follow the procedure below. Choose an advance activity on table 16. Now, here's the thing. You don't advance a character like you do in other games. You don't increase your abilities. You don't gain skills. You don't gain proficiencies or anything like that. The advancement in this game is very much a storytelling advancement. It's about your development in terms of personal development, but also in terms of your community's development, in terms of how they, again, grow. I don't think Cesar wants us to use the word grow in terms of colonization or advancing humanity over nature. So it's more in terms of maybe a measurement of your happiness, of your community's spirit. So, like I say, if you're looking to min-max out characters and increase your abilities, that's not going to work here. It's not part of this game. So we can spend project point. Okay, so what do we got? What I think I'll probably do is, in terms of winning this game, I think if I can cross off all of these advances, I think I would say that I have won the game. I think that's how I would look at this. Because otherwise, there's not really any winning conditions. Like I say, there's nothing really measurable in terms of how many advancements you get, how many skills you can increase, how many more proficiencies or fields of preference or things like that. There's not really that in terms of measurement, in terms of winning or losing the game. But I think if you can tick all of these advancements, I would say that you have won. Yeah, and then you would create another character and start again. So, okay, choose an activity from there, spend 10 to 20 points on that activity. The exact amount is up to you, depending on how much you care. Well, again, this is where storytelling comes in. You could spend 10 points and get 2. So 10 points here, 10 points there. Or you could spend 20 points just on 1. But if you're thinking in terms of this, in terms of winning or losing, or in terms of an end goal, you're probably looking at putting in the minimum amounts. But again, do you want a story? Do you want a role play? Maybe some things that you want to be a bigger part of the story, you put more points in. But let's have a look, okay? Spend taint on them for... Okay, so you can also spend taint points, and what that does is it gives a negative element to that activity. So instead of looking at it in a purely positive way, you can look at it and say, you know, this happened, but there were some imperfections, there was some trade-off, things like that. Now, we don't have any trade points, but we do have 48 project points. So what I'm going to do, 48, I could get 4 advancements. Or like I say, I could get 2 to 4. So let's go for the middle. Let's spend 20 points on something that I'm thinking would be a bigger part of the story or a bigger part of the community. And then I'll choose 2 at 10 points each, which maybe have a smaller effect, a smaller evolution of the community. Okay, envision how that affects, subtract the number of points from your totals. Okay, so I'm going to be spending 40 points in total, so I would have 8 left. Okay, and I'm going to do some activity advances. Now, let me think. Now, like I said, I'm going to choose 1 and spend 20, and I'm going to choose 2 with 10 each. So I'm working on a music box, but I do love cooking. Is there anything about cooking here? Listen to some. Cook a dinner. Here we go. So let's choose the activity. So activity. Cook dinner for someone you haven't talked to in a while. Let's cook a dinner, because earlier in the journey I got lost and I rolled really well in terms of the move or the task to find my path again. And I was saying about how I remembered the lessons of an elder when they were teaching me when I was young in terms of tracking and the wilderness. So let's cook a dinner for our elder teacher, as a thank you for their help, for me remembering what they taught me and getting back onto the path and not getting lost. So I'm actually going to spend 20 project points on that, because it's something that I think would be very important to the character. Now we have another 2, which I'm only going to be putting 10 points in because maybe they're not quite as important. So let's have a think. And cooking, like I said, when I created my character, in this game Scraps, there are actually appendices at the back. If you find a settlement, you can roll up to get some info. If you find NPCs, you can also roll up to find info. I did this for my character to get some information. I got cooking there, so that's why. What else? I can share stories around the campfire, because the campfire was where I got my inspiration and my vision for the journey when I was doing the planning. So again, that kind of links up with things that I've done. So we share stories around campfire. And I spend 10 points on that. Now again, if you're doing this for yourselves, maybe you can tick off instead of writing in your journal. And I've got one more to do again with 10 points. So it's a minor thing in terms of my story. Singing, like I say, I am building a music box. What else? Decorate somebody's house with shiny rocks, because at the moment it's not really part of the story, but I don't think that's going to be relevant to my next journey. So decorate someone's house with shiny rocks. Again, maybe it's the elder teacher, the guy that I cook dinner for. Maybe I help them to decorate their house. With shiny rocks. That's also 10 project points. So that is the reward system in terms of this game. Like I say, there's no, in terms of tangible rewards, in terms of your character advancing, getting better, new skills. No, there's none of that. It really is about the story. It's about the journey that you take with this character in the world, with your projects and everybody around you. And that is, well, that's the end of the book. We're right at the end. That's how the game works. Now, if you have, if you've had the endurance and the patience to follow me through these 4 videos, you have now seen how the whole game works. Now, again, I do tend to be a little bit long-winded sometimes when I do these videos. I do apologize for that. But you can always fast forward and skip to the parts that you find interesting without all my rambling. But I hope that I've done this game justice. Oops. Move the table a little bit. Sorry about that. I hope I've done this game justice in my playthrough, with my discussion, with going through all of the different phases. It turned out to be a lot longer than I was expecting. I was expecting this to maybe be a two-part video, but anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I really do recommend this game. It's not, I don't think it's that expensive. I think at the time of recording, I think it's $9 on PNP Arcade. But I do recommend that you check it out. It's by another independent designer. Again, another guy from Brazil. Brazil seems to have some brilliant designers. But like I say, one of the main focuses of this channel is to get gamers to move away from that tunnel vision of only playing Games Workshop, or only playing Warhammer 40k, or maybe only playing Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, or trying to get people to kind of spread their wings a little bit and test new waters, test new games, because there's a lot of great stuff out there. And just because it's not from one of the big established companies doesn't mean they're not good. So I highly recommend Scraps by Cesar Capacle. Again, I really hope I'm saying the name right. But anyway, yes, I have another one of his games. I think when I purchased this, I purchased another one of his games. So I'm going to have to try and fit that in somewhere. But yeah, I highly recommend looking at this. Very enjoyable, very different. It has that Battleship element when you're doing the decay, rolling to see where on the grid it hits. You hit my Battleship stone. It also has the Tetris feel in terms of arranging the different shaped blocks and the different shaped materials. Very, very enjoyable, and a very, again, from what I've experienced, a very unique game. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that. And I look forward to seeing you in the next game video. I've got a lot planned. I've got piles of games that I've had printed and bound up that are just waiting for me to find time to do them. But anyway, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Some of you didn't do that just now. That's why that's why I suffered some decay. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the videos. Look out for the next one. Please add comments if you like. Stay safe and take care of yourselves. Cheers.